just enough to get the win over the blonde fighter. So is that impressive in its own right? Yes, absolutely. But my question is very uninspiring. What won her this fight?
Say that again. Sorry, Derek.
It was just an uninspiring win. Like, what won Fiorot the fight? Like, yeah, he outlanded her by a couple strikes. Like, is that all that was? Like, what won it?
Pressure. That's what I would say.
Was it the
Pressure.
takedown at the end?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I think that helped. I think that was the kind of the nail in the coffin, if you will. But I think the pressure if you row the entire time. But to that point, man, I'm thinking about the fight. Katlyn Chookagian also had a lot of pressure going into it too. I do think the nail in the coffin was that final takedown at the end. You even heard, I'm pretty sure it was that fight where you heard one of the judges say, "Take her down at the end, win the round." It might have been another fight. But either way, we all know if you get a takedown in those last 30 seconds, for whatever reason, even if you do nothing with it, the judges score that as like the end-all, be-all. That is what mattered in this fight, is somebody at the end of the day got a last-second takedown at the end that didn't matter one bit, but it counts for like 13 points for whatever reason. Do you think that those last second takedowns actually matter, or are those just junk points?
Well, first, I'm going to correct you, man, because a judge would never tell a fighter that they need to get a takedown to win the fight, right? It'd be, of course, a coach, right? But yeah, man, I think that it's way too heavily, especially when you do nothing with it. Right, Fiorot takes Chookagian down, doesn't land one strike. Chookagian gets her butterfly hooks and basically sweeps her to get back up to her feet. And you get major points for that? Okay, I guess. Yeah, but you took her down. You did. I mean, that was the hard part. You did take her down, so you should be credited. You should be awarded something for that. I just think that's is outweighed, and I don't think that's off real merit. Now, here's the thing, man. This fight was a lot of throwing punches and whiffing and hitting air. A lot of air and kiosks, and it was like a Macy Barber fight almost, man. I do agree Fiorot did land a little more frequently. I don't think her sidekick was nearly as effective as everyone thought it was going to be. Like I said, with Chookagian style, Chookagian, I just think couldn't get going, man. I think that she just could not find her rhythm and could not find her groove. And Fiorot picked up her pace as the fight went on, and I think that's what won the fight. But at the end of the day, first off, now death taxes Katlyn Chookagian by decision has been broken, right? So, like, that was a long-standing history lesson right there. Listen, man, I feel so non-confident about Fiorot being able to give Shevchenko any challenge. I think they might as well just give Santos a rematch at this point, if this is going to be your contender. So you notice Fiorot didn't call anyone out either. Fiorot didn't say, my bad. Fiorot didn't say, "Give me the champion right now. Like, I'm ready. I'm the beast." Da 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 da. She says, "Yeah, if I have to fight a couple more people, I will." And then, ultimately we'll get to Valentina. This is the same story as everybody else who's basically like, "I know I'm not ready for Valentina right now, but give me a couple more fights, and eventually I will be." That's not what you want to hear for your number one contender. Katlyn Chookagian's way better number one contender. But, I mean, you tell me. What can the beast, who deserves all the respect because she's a phenomenal fighter, this is just an uninspiring win. Viva le Français. What can she do against Valentina?
Man, that's such a hard question. I think and honestly, one, I'm gonna give my honest opinion, and two, I'm gonna answer your question. One, I think the only way anybody's gonna ever beat Valentina Shevchenko is when she retires. That's it. That's the only way we're gonna see another champ. Valentina retires. That's it. If Manon Fiorot was to fight for the title right now, what would she have to do? Also make it a very uninspiring fight. Now, I think it sounds counterintuitive, but if Fiorot was to go in there and not get dominated, not get to the ground, basically have the exact same fight she did against Chookagian except 5 rounds, who knows? Who knows? The judges might be like, wow, this is the first time we've never seen a dominating win. This is the first time we've been able to see somebody outskirt Valentina, outmaneuver, even if we do see the same kind of total strikes, 99 hits when you threw 280 punches. Absolutely crazy. But if we see those numbers on both sides of the scorecard like we are now, but one of the other names is Valentina Shevchenko, maybe. Might be. What do you think?
No. Valentina, what does she do every fight, man? If you're a striker, she takes you down. If you're like trying to get her to the ground, she's gonna keep you on the feet, or she's gonna take you down and put you on your back. Like, I don't know, man. Like I said, this was so uninspiring. They needed to replace this. The Bilal Muhammad Sean Brady fight would have been so much better than this, right? Implications, everything. I'm unimpressed. I think the women's flyweight division now has more questions than it has answers after this, when it's supposed to be the opposite. We're supposed to have a little clarity. So big win. But here's the thing. Even though negative sentiment aside, Manon Fiorot, she beat Caitlin Chookagian, bro. There's no way you can say that she didn't beat her. She beat her. That's props. That's the beast. So is it the Cyril Gahn trajectory? I don't think so. I don't think she's got the Cyril Gahn star power and style and all that, but I think that she's going to be a problem, bro. Especially if I can see some jiu-jitsu out of her, because the wrestling is good. We just didn't test the jiu-jitsu in this one. So it'll be interesting to see. But, folks, that is your main card.